What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2019 Back Battles. To date, we are using this Kyogre and Ho-oh team that I made. This Kyogre and Ho-oh team was made in the beginning of the format when I did do that exhibition match versus Paul Chua. If you haven't checked that out, I highly recommend go check it out. It was a pretty good set. But overall, we are going to be using this team because I haven't really had the time to build many other teams. And yeah, let's just get started. We got Raichu, Ho-oh, Kyogre, Gothitelle, Hitmontop, and Ferrothorn. I might be making some changes along the way because I'm not exactly too sure if all the sets are really optimal yet. Yet I feel like this team is pretty good. And I do really love some of the stuff that it can do. So we'll see how it goes on today's episode. Okay, sorry about that. I actually got like a phone call while in the middle of looking for a battle. So we're back. We're going to be searching for a battle as we find the first opponent from Japan, a 1690 rated player. We got a team of Groudon, Xerneas, Heatran, Clefairy, Incineroar, and Tapu Fini. We actually saw a lot of Heatran in the Philadelphia Regional Championship that recently occurred, and it's a pretty strong mod. It really is a strong mod. I did some testing with Heatran. It's actually really good. And you might be wondering what the pen is for. I'm going to be taking notes during battles just so I can get better into the mood. We got Groudon, Xerneas. Let's see. What am I most scared of? I guess... Well, my opponent doesn't really have a water resist other than Tapu Fini. Yeah, like this team was very common, except we usually saw a Venusaur over the Clefairy slot. So just trying to, I guess, support the Xerneas a bit more. Maybe it's a better Trick Room answer. Maybe it has like After You. It's got a lot of options. I love Clefairy. I really do love Clefairy. So what do I want to do here? I do love my Ho-oh. I gotta be worried about the Heatran, but I do have Kyogre. But I just have to be wary about the Xerneas, I think. I think the Xerneas is going to be the big problem of this team. I think I kind of like Kyogre here. I like leading Ho, though. I think leading Ho is good. With Gothitelle, I think. Have Ferrothorn and Kyogre in the back. Because I don't really see Hitmontop doing too much work here. Yes, it does have the close combat. It does have the Intimidate. I could eject button out. Yet, I feel like if I just trap in my opponent's Pokemon, whether it's the Xerneas or the Groudon, I could immediately eliminate the threats to one of my Mons. So if I get rid of the Groudon that's next to Xerneas, I might be able to get rid of the Xerneas with Gyro Ball, but there are multiple fire types on my opponent's team, so it's going to be interesting to see here. Gothitelle plus Ho-oh against the Incineroar Tapu Fini. Okay, interesting. Right off the bat. Okay. So I'm not really too worried about this position. We're going to see that the Misty Surge does activate. Most of these teams do run support on Fini. I could definitely see something if it's a Swagger Tapu Fini. It could Swagger the Incineroar and then go for the knockoff to KO my Gothitelle. So I do got to be worried about that. So I think overall what I want to do is switch out Ho-oh and go on to Kyogre because of the fact that my opponent's Incineroar will be trapped in. And I think just protect here because next turn I could go for the Trick Room or I could go for the Heal Pulse on my Kyogre. Yeah, I like that play. So I think I'm just going to make the Ho switch out because Ho is not exactly in the optimal position against my opponent's team. We could see a U-turn. Like, I think this could be a very predictable play from me. So we'll find out what my opponent does. But right here, if I can get rid of the Incineroar, that's one answer to my Ferrothorn already gone. So that would be really sweet. As we will go for the Protect with Gothitelle. Let's see what my opponent does. Going to be the Icy Wind. Okay. So it is a support Tapu Fini. Interesting to see the Icy Wind out of any other choice. But that's alright by me. As that's not really going to do much to my Kyogre. Let's see what the Incineroar goes for. Probably a knockoff in the Gothitelle. Yeah. Okay. +2 knockoff is scary. That's like the main threat. Like, are you going to go for the +2? You could also U-turn here into your Groudon if you really, really want to. I really am worried about losing this Gothitelle here because I think Gothitelle is pretty important. Ho is kind of not necessary. It's just good as a switch-in, I think. I think I'm just going to go for the Scald into the Incineroar. Just go for the damage. Or I could go for Water Spout, but I don't want a +2 knockoff going to Kyogre. And I think go out on a Ho-oh. I think Ho-oh is the play because I don't really need the Ho-oh's item. And I could always recover the damage off and Heal Pulse my own Ho-oh later in the game. So we'll see how this goes. I could see U-turn or Swagger in a knockoff play. We could also see Nature's Madness in the knockoff into Kyogre. I think that'd be fine too because, again, I do have Heal Pulse for a reason. So let's see what my opponent does. It's going to be a Moonblast. Okay. So not even a Swagger. So might not even have Swagger into the Ho-oh. Okay. Probably just doubling up the Ho-oh slot then, which is okay. Yep, just gonna double the Ho-oh slot. So Ho-oh gonna lose its item, which is fine. We will probably be able to get rid of Incineroar unless it's Assault Vest or Berry. Either way is fine because my opponent can't really threaten me off the bat, but we do knock out Incineroar, so it does look like it is. Oh, we get a critical hit, so I don't know if that matters. I can't tell what set it is, unfortunately. But we do get rid of Incineroar. That means no more Intimidate. My Ferrothorn is looking a bit better. Groudon's probably going to come in. Yep. This is where things get a little bit tricky here. This is where things get a little bit tricky, especially if it's a Rock Slide Groudon. If it's Rock Slide Groudon, I don't really mind though because it can't really touch Ho-oh. I think I'm just going to go into Gothitelle and Sacred Fire because if you go for a Rock Slide, Gothitelle doesn't really take much damage from Rock Slide Moonblast combination. And then I'd be able to get Kyogre in once again, and my opponent can't really threaten the Kyogre. So, and of course I could always get the burn on Groudon. There's like a bunch of factors here. So, we'll retreat my Kyogre here into the Gothitelle here. Just as a pivot. We're going to see, oh, it's Gravity Precipice Blades. I should have considered that. They do run Gravity on top of Feeny, so my opponent might be able to get some. And I can't burn also. I just realized I can't burn in the terrain. So, Precipice Blade's going to come out. That does a lot of damage to my Ho-oh. Kind of wish I had Hitmontop now because I could have pivoted. Ho-oh goes down. It's not the end of the world for me, but yeah, that's a pretty bad one. We can go Kyogre here. And that, I'm really curious about my opponent's last Pokemon now. If it is that... Okay, so if it is, let's say, the... If it's the Heatran, I need Kyogre, but Kyogre should live any attack. If it's Xerneas, my Ferrothorn should win right after this. Groudon goes down. I will go for Trick Room and Scald because if we do... I don't think Nature's Madness from Feeny, let's say that's the worst possible thing that could happen to me, plus Precipice Blades. I don't think it would knock out Kyogre unless you're boosting item because I have a lot of physical defense on this Kyogre. And if you go for a knockout on a Gothitelle, I do knock out your Groudon. And if you... Yeah, I think if you protect Groudon, I just get Trick Room up, and that's pretty much sealed it up for me. So, my opponent can't switch, so I am pivoting. Oh, it is the Swagger. I mean, I think I should live this with Kyogre, though. I really feel like I should live this. It was a Swagger, though. Okay. So, Precipice Blades is going to come out. I feel like Kyogre should survive this unless it is a boosting item on the Groudon. Yes. Okay, perfect. So, Gothitelle will go down. Unless this Groudon, like its Assault Vest, can live the Scald. That's the only thing I'm really, really worried about. But they don't really run. I don't feel like they run Assault Vest as much. Yes, Groudon goes down. Perfect. Okay. Wait for critical hit. Again, I can't tell these sets. I really don't think that would be Assault Vest Groudon, realistically. As we'll go Ferrothorn right here. Xerneas is going to come out. So I feel like that should seal it up for my Ferrothorn. Like, my Ferrothorn just basically puts in way too much work against my opponent's team. My opponent's set is Icy Wind, Gravity, Swagger, Moonblast. So, yeah, the Feeny can't touch me. The Xerneas is the thing that can do the most damage. But, yeah, at this point, I just go for some chip damage with Water Spout. And then I go for Gyro Ball with the Xerneas. And I feel like that will pretty much seal up this game. I don't really see a way my opponent can come out unless Xerneas has some kind of really big tech move here. Or my opponent just doubles Protect You to stall out the Misty Terrain so you can Swagger my Ferrothorn. Oh boy, let's not think about that. It's just a Moonblast. Maybe I should just power up the Feeny because that is a viable option for my opponent. Moonblast. Wow, even with the Fairy Aura boost, that did nothing to my Kyogre. Water Spout gonna come out. Just a bit of chip on the Feeny, so maybe it just puts in power with range now. Yeah, my opponent's definitely going for Swagger. It's your only out. Let's see, you're probably going to Geomancy and go for it. So we'll go for Scald, we'll go for Gyro Ball. There's no reason not to. It's a 30% chance, I believe, with Confusion, and you also have to hit the Swagger. We are going to see the Geomancy come out, no surprise there. Oh, that was a big mistake. I knew the Feeny didn't protect. I should have just went for the Power Whip into the Feeny slot. Scald Power Whip would have probably got rid of it. So we are going to see Xerneas set up the Geomancy. Let's see. Let's see what Feeny does. Going to be, yep, the Swagger. Yep, that is your only out, so I do agree with that. Let's see. Ferrothorn. It's gonna come down to Ferrothorn. I do get Scald damage, so this is like a really bulky Xerneas. I will guarantee the knockout was Gyro Ball now. Nice. Okay, so that 100% seals it up. I don't think Feeny can beat me now. I'll go for the Elite Seed just in case. Or do I just go for the +2 Gyro Ball? I might just go for the +2 Gyro Ball because Elite Seed I can miss. While Gyro Ball I'm going to be a +2 eventually. And yeah, Feeny really can't damage much. I still have a Berry intact. So that's really good. I wonder what the Feeny is going to do. Probably Swagger my Kyogre at this point. Like, you can still theoretically win. Like, if I miss a bunch of attacks. No, we're just going to see the Moonblast instead. Okay. If I get a Scald Burn, that is my chance. As Moonblast gets a crit, doesn't really matter there. Get a Scald. That does a good amount in the rain. Let's see. Ferrothorn. I think you should be able to knock it out at this range. Okay, that's fine. I really don't mind it hitting itself this turn. Like, that Xerneas turn was pretty big. If we hit ourselves, I think Xerneas would not have been able to knock out my Ferrothorn, especially even after Tapu Fini go for Moonblast, unless the Xerneas protects there. So yeah, I would have had to hit myself twice, I think. Gonna knock out the Kyogre. And then basically, I just don't see how my opponent gets out of this. You don't have Protect to stall out either. I mean, I hit myself again, which is fine. Rain stops. You can't burn me. You can go for Moonblast. Icy Wind will power my Gyro Ball, but I don't even think that really matters at this point. I think Gyro Ball might still be able to knock. I can't really say Gyro Ball would knock out the Feeny, but the Feeny does seem at least decently fast. Moonblast. Because my opponent doesn't have Trick Room. And you need quite a little bit of investment to outspeed Groudon. So Gyro Ball going to come out, +2. Does knock out Tapu Fini, and that's going to be a good game to my opponent. So we are able to take the first one, which is really good here. I think overall, like, Gothitelle was super big in this matchup. Like, even though it really didn't get to do much, just trapping in my opponent's Pokemon like that Incineroar for Kyogre to knock it out. Then I was able to trap into Groudon, knock it out, so my Ferrothorn can win the game. I think it put in so much work. Like, even if it didn't do anything, like, Shadow Tag was just such a big ability there, because my opponent really couldn't do anything to my Ferrothorn once I got rid of the big threats, and just trapping into big threats and be able to knock it out for a set win condition. Granted, I didn't go for the guaranteed. I think the better play was to go for the Scald Power Whip into the Tapu Fini, but of course there could have been like Xerneas if it Geomancy's predicting that, and if it has Focus Blast or HP Fire, like, you know, there's always that fact that something can go wrong. But realistically speaking, like, the only way out my opponent should have had, if we're talking about standard sets, it would be Swagger outside of Misty Terrain. So that should have been something I guess I should have considered. But yeah, we were still able to take the win, luckily. Ferrothorn gained the first hit was really nice. It could have been a little bit different, but I still think I could have came through as long as Ferrothorn was able to hit the Xerneas with a Gyro Ball before it could go down to itself. So we'll look for another game. Really nice though. I really do think Gothitelle, like, even though I didn't really bring Gothitelle when I played with this team in general, I think Gothitelle is like really good just because Shadow Attack is such an amazing. Of course, there is Pokemon like Incineroar, U-Turn, and Volt Switch is still pretty common, but overall, I feel like Shadow Attack is still such a strong ability. Although Gothitelle, the problem with Gothitelle is, other than Shadow Tag, it might not be able to do as much because of the fact that it's taking a lot more damage than it would in, like, let's say a format like 2018 where there's no restricteds. We're gonna find an opposing team, John TW from Japan, with Kyogre, Necrozma, Dustmane, which is a combination we actually really didn't get to see much. I think only one made top 32 at Philadelphia Regionals. Let's see, Incineroar, Kartana, Tapu Lele, and the Amoonguss. It was weird because I thought my 3DS was blinking red, but it's just I think it's a spot pass thing. Let's see here. Double Grass is always interesting. I really don't like my position as much. Okay, so Ferrothorn does pretty well in this matchup if I'm able to get rid of Kartana plus the Incineroar. Let's see. Gothitelle can trap in, which is nice. Not sure if I want to bring it, though. I mean, it does bulk through a lot of my opponent's team, and I really do like Ho-oh in this matchup because it can burn in Necrozma, as well as just Kartana and Amoonguss can't do anything to it. So I think I want to lead, actually, the Raichu. Maybe I don't lead Raichu. I don't actually want Raichu too much. I think I want to go Kyogre, Ferrothorn, with Hitmontop and Ho-oh in the back. I like those 4 Pokemon because I don't really need Gothitelle. Like, yeah, I could trap stuff in, but the problem is I could get knocked out just as quickly Raichu could have been useful because most likely this Kyogre does carry Thunder. I kind of wish I'd mind carry Thunder because I think Thunder would be really nice for the Kyogre matchup because I feel like this team, if it struggles with anything, it's opposing Kyogres. Yeah, there's a lot to consider here. I do have to rely on Ferrothorn to knock out the Kyogre, which isn't the biggest thing for me. So we'll lead Kyogre Ferrothorn. The reason I want to lead Kyogre Ferrothorn is it matches up pretty well against, yeah, like Incineroar that could lead out. And this is actually pretty solid, I think, for me as a lead. Yes, my opponent does also have a solid lead, but I think overall mine's is better because now I could just double protect here. Then I could Scald the Incineroar and go for a double protect. I could double protect this turn, then I can Scald and Leech Seed the Kyogre, I feel like. So overall, I feel like double protecting is my safe play. I mean, I guess you could capitalize. You could bring out your Kartana if you do have it, but I could always just bring out my Hitmontop afterward. So overall, I don't feel too bad about that situation. So yeah. And I'm not sure if you would go into your Kartana. Like, that could be risky if I'm like Scarf Kyogre and decide not to switch out and just click Water Spout. Like, that would actually be devastating for my opponent. So I don't think you would make that play. As yeah, we're just gonna see the safe stay in. Either Fake Out and Thunder, I think, or just Water Spout Flare Blitz, I think, are your plays. I could have went out into Hitmontop, actually. Fake Out gonna go into Kyogre, though. Probably just worried about, like, anything I could do. Thunder is gonna come out. Okay. That's fine. I could have got a Leech Seed off, which is unfortunate. But, you know what? We'll just Scald the Incineroar. We'll go for the Leech Seed now into the Kyogre. Because Power Up's not going to KO. Most likely it's a bulky Kyogre. I might as well get some health. It forces Kyogre to switch out. Or for it to take the chip damage necessary for -1 Power Up later on in the game. Incineroar should either be conserved. Unless you really think you can take the Scald if you're like Assault Vest plus Partial Berry. But you would have to double up my Ferrothorn. And that means my Kyogre is still healthy. So I think I'd be okay with that trade. At this point. We'll see what my opponent does. I do really wish I had Thunder now, though. Like, Thunder would be amazing here. We'll see what my opponent decides to opt for. Maybe Incineroar could switch out into Moongus. We are going to see that switch out into the Necrozma. Okay, so that's taking a Scald, which it doesn't really appreciate that. So I'm okay with that. Thunder is going to come out into my Kyogre. I'm really just hoping for... I'm not going to jinx it because I jinxed myself at Regionals. There it is. So we see the Thunder Paralysis. I do get Scald off in Necrozma, which is good. Because that's a nice 50%. No burn. No burn. 30% Thunder. No 30% Scald, unfortunately. Do you get the Leech Seed off? Unfortunately, I just don't have a switch in now. I'm definitely... Even though I have to play the RNG at this point because of the fact there's a paralysis, like, I had to protect here because I can't risk a Thunder into that slot. I'm gonna just attempt to Power Whip the Kyogre, even if Incineroar comes in. I think Incineroar could come in for Necrozma here. Or you can just hard switch out that slot into your Incineroar. Yeah, that's the thing about the Thunder Paralysis. It's because now I'm in a bit of a scary spot. Although it's not the end of the world, I guess. Like, I could double switch next turn. And I get like a bit of chip in Incineroar, which really shouldn't matter too much. We do see the Photon Geyser into that Kyogre slot. And we will get a Power Whip into the Incineroar. -2, not going to do anything. Yeah. So, yeah, that's not really that optimal here. I do wish I had Thunder because first turn I could have maybe went for like Thunder Power Whip. Let's see. Switch out Kyogre into Ho-oh, switch out Ferrothorn into Hitmontop. I do have an eject button, so I can come back out with my Ferrothorn and threaten a potential switch. Or I could go back into Kyogre, because my opponent will probably be forced to activate a Berry. So we bring out the Ho-oh, and we'll bring out the Hitmontop. Let's see what my opponent does. Like, do you read this? I think it's just going to be Photon Geyser, and... I guess I could see knockoff in Hitmontop. That wouldn't be too bad, I guess. Although I really do hope it's a Flare Blitz here. We'll see. Photon Geyser into... Looks like the Kyogre slot. Like, you have to, I think, if you're going to stay in with Incineroar. Yeah. Looks like physical damage. Flare Blitz is going to come out, which is fine. Yeah, into my Hitmontop. So, I'm okay with Hitmontop. Oh, man. I cannot catch a break. I cannot catch a break. Alright, eject button out. Back into my Kyogre. Yes. This paralysis is annoying because of the fact that I would be probably able to outspeed the Incineroar before it can knock me off. I'm worried about a double target the following turn. You know what, I'm just gonna go Kyogre anyway. Well, then again, a Photon Geyser would activate my berry, so I guess it wouldn't be the end of the world, but that is frustrating. We will bring out our Kyogre here. Leftovers heals us. I think I'll go for Brave Bird into... You have to save your Incineroar 100%. Would you risk -1 Photon Geyser knocking out Kyogre? Because I don't think it does. I could realistically Brave Bird the Incineroar slot and go for Scald, because I really just don't see Necrozma threatening me right now. If anything, Incineroar should be switching out or going for U-turn at least. Yeah. It's the last turn of rain too, so if my opponent does switch into Kyogre, you won't have the Thunder, 100% accurate Thunder, which is good for me. But still, this is not looking like an optimal position. But we do see the Incineroar switch out, so hopefully Kyogre comes in. Or Lele, actually. Oh! I didn't consider that as an option. You're going to go for Photon Geyser and knock out my Kyogre, aren't we? And I can't even find out the speed of this Necrozma. Because if it's min-speed Necrozma, I do outspeed it with Kyogre. But yeah, Brave Bird into Tapu Lele. Damage, but it's not really as helpful. Photon Geyser is going to come out. Yeah. Maybe I should switch on to Hitmontop for Ho-oh, but I really want to catch the incoming potential... I really want to catch the incoming potential Kyogre because I thought the last Pokemon might have been Kartana. Yeah, this makes it really difficult now. I'll go Ferrothorn here. At this point, I just don't see how I'm really going to be able to beat the Incineroar because of the fact I was burned with my Hitmontop. Because now I can't threaten a knockout. The power of chip damage might have actually just put me in the range where at neutral I'd be able to knock out. But now, I just don't see how I'm going to be able to win this one. I could go for... Let's see, I could go for the recover here. And I guess maybe just Leech Seed the Necrozma slot to put in range of the Sacred Fire and Rain maybe. I don't know who's switching out. I think Lele switches out, yeah. But that's fine, too. Into Incineroar. Hitmontop's looking like a fine play afterward, but... I mean, you could always just catch me on that switch, so I'm not exactly sure what you're going to do afterward. We will get a recover off. Heal back some HP. Photon Geyser is going to come out. That's your third Photon Geyser, although I don't think it's going to matter. Yeah, that does so much damage. We'll be able to Leech Seed some health away, okay. You're not going to ever switch into Kyogre because the Flare Blitz won't knock out my Ferrothorn afterward. So I got to figure this out. I think I have to call Ho-oh Photon Geyser. Because it could be a double up into Ferrothorn, or you could target at my Ho-oh. You could also fake out Photon Geyser in my Ho-oh, which I don't want to take. So I think I'm just going to double protect here. Even in the worst cases. Yeah, because you're not bringing out Kyogre. You might bring out your Lele, but yeah, Necrozma's going to stay in. I'm pretty sure it's either fake out Photon Geyser in the Ho-oh, or just a Photon Geyser Flare Blitz here. Either way, I think... Yeah, Photon Geyser into the Ho-oh, and Flare Blitz into the Ferrothorn, okay. I mean, I outspeed the Necrozma. Actually, no, I outspeed the Necrozma. I could just Sacred Fire the Necrozma the following turn and just go out and Hitmontop. But the problem is then Kyogre comes in. You're next to Incineroar still. I don't know how I beat the Incineroar. Yeah, it's still looking problematic. But yeah, it's just a safe play to go into Hitmontop. Like, I'm forced to make the plays now. Maybe I could Wide Guard. Maybe if I have Wide Guard... What could I do? Wide Guard switch out into Ferrothorn. That might work, actually. I'm thinking of, like, how do I survive a double up from Kyogre and Incineroar? I'm going to get Intimidate off, which is a good thing. I'm going to be taking a decent amount of damage from Flare Blitz, though, but I think I should still be okay here. I'm going to try and knock on Necrozma because getting rid of Necrozma would be great. We will see my opponent stay in, which is good. Hitmontop will come out, get this Intimidate off into the Incineroar. Oh, boy. Tapu Lele's low, which is good. Necrozma should be going down if I hit. I do hit, so Necrozma does go down. I don't have to worry about Necrozma. Critical hit, I don't think it matters. Even with Prism Armor and Intimidate, I'm pretty sure I was still KO'd. Flare Blitz gonna come out. And even then, like, I've had some unlucky RNG in this game too. You do see the Flare Blitz? That does so much damage to my Hitmontop. Yeah, and I can't even wide. Well, if you bring out Kyogre here, like, I'll live another Flare Blitz, so that's a good thing at least. We'll see Kyogre come out? I think Kyogre. I don't see a point of bringing out Lele here. As he actually do bring out the Lele, okay. I might live a double up with Ho-oh. Ah, I see what you're trying to do. Well, if you get rid of him on top, that's still fine, isn't it? My play is always Sacred Fire, the Lele, and Close Combat, the Incineroar. I could see Incineroar switching out, but I could also see a Flare Blitzing my Hitmontop. I gotta call this right. You know what? I do see Incineroar potentially switching out into your Kyogre just to get rid of his Intimidate and maybe try to eliminate my Hitmontop. I have to call this if this is right or not, because it's a really, really risky call I'm doing right here, because I might lose my Ferrothorn potentially. We're gonna see Psychic into the Hitmontop slot. This might be Psychic Flip. Let's double up. Life Orb. Oh, that's definitely gonna knock me out. I think I lost this one. Lele goes down. And Flare Blitz. Yeah, like there's no way you not double target that slot. So I guess I should have just stayed in with Hitmontop. I was just worried about Incineroar switching on a Kyogre. The reason I was afraid of that was because if my opponent did decide to make that play, like it could have been really bad for me. Like what could have been really bad for me was the fact that if you do decide to make that play, right? You have the ability to click Water Spout and then Flare Blitz afterward, and you wouldn't be intimidated, so that would definitely be able to pick up the knockout. So I was really worried about that. On the bright side, the rain ends, which is a good thing. Maybe I can get something as Kyogre comes out. I guess the question if it's Scarf Kyogre too. We don't know what kind of Kyogre it is. If it is Scarf, like I could go for Fake Out Brave Bird. It's always a question, do I go for Fake Out Brave Bird? I don't think I ever saw the Kyogre speed tier other than it was faster. Because I would assume it's Trick Room, right? But it might not be Trick Room. I think I just Fake Out Brave Bird. I hope for a lot here. Like, I need to get a Fake Out of Brave Bird and then maybe Wide Guard Brave Bird. Like, I need Fake Out and Brave Bird into another Brave Bird to maybe knock out this Kyogre, because at this point I just don't see any way out otherwise. We don't see a thing. Okay. And it's not Scarf, so I just get Brave Bird off. Okay. This could change the match, but we don't do enough damage. Kyogre flinches. Knockoff gonna come out into my hull, getting rid of my leftovers. Doesn't do too much otherwise. Man, this is where I wish I don't have Helping Hand, do I? No, I have Faint. Okay. I think I know what I need to do. I need to Sacred Fire burn the Kyogre. I need him to go for a water type attack now. Yeah. Like a spread water type move. I need to burn him and put him out of his range for Berry. Because I don't think I do otherwise. Because if he's probably bulky, I would assume. Otherwise, I would just close combat here. But I'm pretty sure it's Berry. Sacred Fire. Did we get the burn? We need a burn here. And I just don't get the burn. And my opponent went for Thunder, so that's into Hitmontop. Okay. If I crit the Brave Bird, I still have a chance. Knockoff. It's not really going to do too much, though. Yeah. The problem is if Kyogre protects, another knockoff, and then the Brave Bird recoil finishes me off. But that's if I crit, because I feel like I have to crit here. I have to crit the Kyogre. Can we do it? Can we do it? Feel like we might have a shot if we do. My opponent should make the Protect Kyogre play. I mean, I could capitalize off. Maybe you just hope I don't get the crit. Unless it's a roll. But yeah, Brave Bird gonna come out. Into the Kyogre, does it KO? So close. And it is a berry. I guess maybe Faint into Sacred Fire, but you know, that play doesn't make any sense if what I'm trying to do. If I got a burn, yeah, I think I might have just been able to seal it off, but unfortunately, not able to. And I'm pretty confident, actually, that if I didn't get burned with Hitmontop, Faint into... well, actually, no, I can't say Faint into Brave Bird would have KO'd that earlier turn. Yeah, I can't really say that, but good game to my opponent. A little bit unlucky there, but yeah, there wasn't really much I could do. I think I do have to put Thunder on this Kyogre at some point. I think I'm going to play one more episode of Ice Beam, and then I'll test out Thunder. Because, yeah, I think, like, the opposing Kyogre matchup is pretty terrible. Like, it was unfortunate that I got paralyzed turn 1 immediately, but, yeah, not turn 1, turn 2, but, you know, 30% chance. We didn't get any burns, unfortunately, with our Ho-oh. But I hope that everyone enjoyed today's episode of VGC 2019 Back Battles. If you did like it, please leave a like down below. Shows your support, as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below in the description, such as my social medias, the side series on my channel, and all that good stuff. I'll be trying to focus on making content, including stuff on my Twitch channel. So if you don't follow me on my Twitch channel, I highly recommend go check it out, twitch.tv/JamesBaek1. You can also check out the previous episodes if you missed them. And if you do want to try out the team, it will be in the description down below. And of course, if you do want to support the channel, there is Patreon that is linked down below. Otherwise, I think that's pretty much it for me. Feel free to leave a comment as I do read them. Otherwise, have a great day, people. And until we battle again, I'll catch y'all later.